All right. Me. Okay. Okay, great. So, sorry. Share screen. There we go. Share. Great. Okay. So hopefully everybody can see the presentation. Present. Okay. So for our do now, it's just kind of like a little quick warm up. We'll take a couple minutes, not too long. So in the chat box, feel free to write one thing you cooked or one thing you ate recently. That was pretty awesome. So at least for me, we tried making kiwi bread with some overripe kiwis in it. It was okay. It was interesting. But my dad made beef stew and it was everything. It was so good. So really quick in the chat, if you wanna, write something that your parents cooked or you cooked, or go ahead and do that. Can anybody find the chat? It should be on the bottom. Ooh. So you see, I see some sandwich. I see some bacon. So like bacon is the greatest meal. Some fries. Oh my God. I haven't had French fries in so long. Oh, excellent. All right. I realize is she'll buy it. Um dun, 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 dun. There you go. Ooh. So yeah, okay. Pretty good. Yeah, cannot live without French fries. I know, I feel that. So that's pretty great. Thanks to you guys for sharing. So we're gonna go ahead and move on. Okay, so this is Algebra 1. So the objectives for today, students will be able to review word problems using algebra skills. So the word problems that were posted last week were kind of about things that we've covered in class. So hopefully this will be great. And okay, so we did our little food icebreaker. We'll just review some norms, some announcements. We'll jump right into the assignments, and then we'll do a closing. So thanks all for coming. Oh, before I stop, I just want to take attendance really quick. So we have Maury, Ayub, Alicia, and that's it, right? I think just the 3. That's great. Hey, you know what I mean? So you guys are gonna get 5 extra points on Power School. Look out for that. Gonna help. So I appreciate it. Okay, so homework this week. This week is kind of a break week, which is Ms. Shabaye and my plan is not to assign any new work, so you guys have a chance to catch up on work that's already been assigned. It's probably going to be like that until we take the final. It's my plan. So there is one thing we asked you to do is a quick survey. It's like a couple questions, just kind of seeing where everybody's at this year. So fill that out. I think the link is working. I'm not sure. I've been having some issues. So if it says it's requesting access, then it's not working correctly, and I need to work on that. So but if take it if you can, and I'll work on that. So your assignments this week, you have the Delta Math assignments. There are in total 5 assignments. Remember, some of them are divided into 2 parts. If you're having problems with them, some of them are pretty hard. Feel free to give me a call or take a screenshot. I'll be more than happy to work on them with you. And we have the word problems assignment, which that's what we're working on today. And then so hopefully use this time, go grab a notebook, go grab a pen and paper, because basically after this class you can just take a picture of your notes and then send them to me, and that's credit for the assignment. So definitely if you can do that. And also we have a how-to project, so make sure, I think some people have submitted it. You want to just kind of make a study guide for something that you've learned in algebra before, whether it be like factoring or combine like terms, or basically use what you know to explain it to someone else. And you can do that on a piece of paper and send it to a picture to us. So This is the task for this week's, and again, you have until June 17th, and that's going to be when all quarter 4 workers do. So, do as much as you can. And then we're going to have our math final, and that's going to be on Google Forms. So just be aware. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to get started. Oh, yeah. So some Zoom norms. I have changed the whiteboard so that it's only I can draw on it. That was a thing that we ran into last time. Fixed that. So we'll stay on mute. There'll be some times where we'll go off mute, probably at the end of the class. But definitely use the chat to be like, hey, Mr. Fleming, you're going too fast. Or Mr. Fleming, I don't understand that. Can we go over that one more time? So your chat is the best friend. Again, if the chat gets a little wild, I will shut it down, and it is what it is. Yep. So without further ado, let's get started on the word problems. I'm going to X out of the presentation and then go to the whiteboard. Okay. So let's go to the whiteboard. Oh, yeah. There we go. Back here. Share screen. Whiteboard. Excellent. Okay. So we have our first question here, which is during the second week of basketball practice, Joseph practiced his free shots 20 minutes less than 2 times the amount of time he practiced the first week. If he practiced m minutes the first week, what expression represents the number of minutes he practiced the second week? Okay, so again, if you have any ideas or if you've done this before, go in the chat and write down what you think the answer is, or write down some stuff. So that's okay, and that's okay. That's why we're here. Okay, so I'm gonna do some fun little drawings. Okay, so he practiced m minutes the first week, right? So we know that the amount of time he practiced the first week. So we know that that's going to be m, okay? And then we see this 2 times the amount of time he practiced the first week. So this is still m. And so we're thinking 2 times, we're thinking multiplication. So I'm going to write 2 and then, times, right? Oh, I got to use my mouse, sorry. Yeah. Okay, so this is 2 times, like multiplication. And then we have 20 minutes less than. So we know that's probably going to be subtraction, right? Okay. So, and also this word expression could be confusing some people, maybe not. So expression basically means anything with a variable and no equal sign. So, okay, we know that m is the amount of time you practiced the first week, okay? And then, so the second week, it's 20 minutes less than 2 times what he did last week. So 2 times what he did last week, I can write that as 2m, right? 2 times m, the same thing. And then 20 minutes less than that. So 2m minus 20. There we go. And so this is your answer right here. So this is the expression, 2m minus 20. If you're like, I don't know if this works, I'm unsure, go ahead and make up some numbers and see if that works. So like, say the first week, he practiced for 100 minutes. And then in the second week, he practiced 20 minutes less than 2 times that. So 2 times 100 is 200, minus 20 is 180. So that's 2 times what he did last week, and 20 less than that. Okay? So I'm going to take a minute, maybe like a minute or something, maybe like 30 seconds. Pause, take this moment to write down your answer, think of some questions, and we're going to move on to the next one in just a second. Okay. Okay. So a couple seconds left. And we're at time. Okay. So again, at any time, if I'm going too fast, if something is still confusing, the chat box is your best friend. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the whiteboard. So not there. Clear. There we go. Still learning. Okay, great. So then, here's the second problem. Okay. Give me 1 second just to get my bearing. Okay, there we go. That's what I wanted. Okay, so the 22 students in Ms. Smith's ninth grade class each have a sibling or a pet. If 14 students have a sibling and 18 students have a pet, how many students have both a sibling and a pet? Okay, so for this one, I just kind of was like, okay, there's 22 in total. And then, like 18 have a pet. Please excuse my handwriting. And then, 14 have a sibling. So the way I saw it was, okay, I think 14 have both. 4 only a pet. And then 4 have neither. All right, so if you break it down like this, I think that that this is the answer right here. So it's kind of a trick. It's like, okay, they're going to have that in common. So, okay, so that is the answer to number 2. Just kind of break it down if you need to. Again, what I like to do, yeah, nice, Melisha. So feel like, if you want to underline things, it's always a really great tactic for word problems. And if you're doing it online, you can highlight it, if you will. So I always like to annotate my word problems a little bit. So again, I'll look 30 seconds on the timer, like, just if you need some time to process or copy it down to your notes. Got 3 more to go, so not too bad. Okay. Okay, let's just around 30 seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and clear the whiteboard and start with question number 3. Okay, so clear all my drawings real quick. All right, this one's a fun one. So the next one deals with what is it? The system of equations that we've learned. So give me a second to copy this all over. Okay. So Dejan spent $131 on new clothes. He bought several shirts and several pairs of sneakers. Each shirt cost 15 and each pair of sneakers cost 28. If he bought a total of 7 items, how many shirts and sneakers did he purchase? Okay, so this is important. Each shirt cost 15. Each pair of sneakers cost 28. If you bought a total of 7 items, how many shirts and sneakers? That's like the final thing we want to know. Okay, so our A is, what does X and Y stand for? What's the thing we don't know? So for X, should be how many shirts, right? Because that's the first thing we don't know. Okay, you know, for a mouse, this handwriting is not bad. Well, yeah, maybe. Okay, and then Y is gonna be how many sneakers. Okay, great. You get the point. So that's what X and Y are going to represent. The question for B is write an equation that represents the cost of each item. So this is a tricky one. So if, you know, I know, say if I buy like 2 shirts, it's going to be 15 times 2. If I buy 3 shirts, 15 times 3. If it's going to be X shirts, it's going to be 15 times X, right? So 15X and then plus 28Y is going to equal in total 131. Yes. I'm glad that kind of makes sense. This is probably like a big leap to go from the word problem to the equation, right? So this is going to represent the total cost. So you might notice we have 2 variables here. Okay, X and Y. And so to solve that, we need 2 equations. So the second equation, the letter C, is going to be, oh God, I lost my thing. Letter C is, you know, what's an equation that represents the total? So, you know he bought 7 items. So if it's the amount of shirts plus the amount of items is going to equal 7, okay? So those are our 2 equations that we can use to solve. So, which, one second. Yeah. So then we're going to solve using the system of equations. You know, there's many different ways to do that. Substitution or elimination. You know, I don't know. I might go with elimination here. So remember, for elimination, what you need to do is you need to, you know, get like the perfect pair. So what I'm going to do is I want, I know elimination is, it's rough, but we'll get through it together. So I'm going to multiply this equation by negative 15. Okay, so if I do that, I'm going to get a positive 15x and a negative 15x. And then when I add the 2 equations together, they're going to cancel out. So if I do that, I'm going to get 15x plus 28y equals 131. And then negative 15x minus 15y equals, so 7 times what is that? What is it? 15 is going to be negative 105. I did this ahead of time, full disclosure. Okay, so we go ahead and we add these 2 equations together. The 15x and the negative 15x, they cancel out. Great. So we're going to be left with 1 variable now. Now we can solve it. So 28 minus 15 is 13. And then 31 plus negative 105 is 26. Great. So we'll go ahead and solve for y. So to do that, I'll divide by 13 on both sides. And then we have y equals 2. Great. So we have one of the answers. We're just going to go ahead and plug the y back into an equation to solve for it. And this equation is way easier, right? So I'm going to replace y with 2. So x plus 2 equals 7 minus 2 minus 2, x equals 5. I'm glad Ayub. Thanks. So that's how we kind of do it. So if you were to write your answer, you should probably say, you know, 5 shirts then 2 pairs of sneakers. I don't know where like he's getting these $28 pair of sneakers. I mean, like that's cheap. Like I kind of, if they're nice, that's good. Okay. Beautiful. So that's number 3. Again, I'm gonna take 1 minute and kind of work through it, if you will. I realize we're like time is of the essence. So, okay, take your notes, make some comments. This is your time. Okay. Awesome. So it's just been around a minute. I really appreciate Jamori. Thank you for like being on the chat. Be like, oh, I'm writing notes. Thank you. All right, moving on to the next question. Okay, clear all my drawings. I gotta find what did I do with yeah, there we go. So my plan is hopefully that you're not seeing my internet and you are only seeing the whiteboard at the moment. Okay, there we go. Text. Great. Okay, so the next one. Dio wants to join a gym. He's deciding between using Planet Fitness and the YMCA. So Planet Fitness costs $100 to join and has a monthly fee of $15. And then the YMCA costs $40 to join, but has a monthly fee of $30. So after how many months will the cost be the same? Okay. So, excuse me. So for this one, you got to be careful with, understanding what's the thing that changes and what's the thing that stays the same when you're, you're getting this fee. So for the Planet Fitness, I know that for every month I have to pay $15, but I have to pay $100 at the beginning. So like that equation could be y equals 15x. Make sure that x represents the number of months plus 100. Okay? And then same thing for YMCA. You see the y can be the total cost and x is the number of months. So let's see. The monthly fee is 30, so it's 30 per month. Anytime you have a per, that's going to be multiplication, and then you add 40 to that. Okay? So those are the 2 equations that you need. So this is Planet Fitness, this is YMCA. So we're going to go ahead and find out when the price is going to be equal. So I'm going to set these equal to each other to be 15x plus 100 equals 30x plus 40. Okay, so I know how to solve this. This is just combining like terms, right? So I'll subtract 15x on both sides, like so. Then I'll have 100 equals 15x plus 40. Minus 40 on both sides. We're going to get 60 equals 15x. So we know that this is multiplication, so we're going to go ahead and divide on both sides by 15. So x equals 60 divided by 15 is 4. So we know that 4 months, they cost the same. Okay, so again, 1 minute, take some notes. I think the trick for this one is to figure out, you know, what the thing goes to the x and then what's the thing that's plus. So take that 1 minute. All right. So we just around 1 minute to go. And Alicia has a great question. 1 second to pause my timer. All right, what does the thing in the circle say? Sorry. So this is 4 months. So after 4 months, the Planet Fitness costs the same as the YMCA. So that's what it means there. So there we go. So I think we got Leroy here, which is great. Yeah, no. So X is 4, if that makes any sense. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and do the last problem together, and then just have like a quick close, maybe chat a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and erase everything. So hopefully you guys copied your notes. Whoa. I have so many windows on this computer. It is crazy. Okay. Clear. Oh, hey, Leroy. Great. Thanks for joining. So the last problem we're going to do is number 5. So number 5, I think, is interesting. And I think it's like actually like a pretty useful skill to know how to do. Okay. Text. Great. Okay. So it is now the end of the year, and Mr. Fleming has a new goal. Apologies, there's my computer. Apologies. I got to figure out how to do that. So thanks. So Mr. Fleming has a new goal. He wants to earn an 80% average for the entire year and get a B as his final grade. And here are the grades. He still has to take his final exam, which is worth just as much as the 4 quarters. What is the minimum score he needs on his final exam to earn an average of 80 for the year? So we're going to go ahead and, this is kind of like an average question, right? So we know that there are 5 grades in total, right? So there's 5 grades in totals. Okay, so when you're taking an average, you have to divide by, add up all of the things you have together and then divide by the number of numbers. So we have 5 grades here. We're going to be adding up all these together and dividing by 5. But what we don't know is we don't know the final exam. So we're going to leave that as a variable. We're going to leave that as x. And so I'm going to do this. I'm going to add 58 plus 85 plus 76 plus 84 plus x, here's the key, and then divide by 5. And then I'm going to equal, like that, I'm going to add to 80 because that's the average I want for the whole year. So I think the key with these word problems is just kind of setting them up. It takes a bit of some time. Okay, so what I'll go ahead and do, this is just math now. Now I've done the hard part. I'm going to go ahead and, add up all these numbers together. And, when I do that, 58 plus 85 plus 76 plus 84, this can be 303. 303 plus x over 5 equals 80. So this is division, so I'm going to do the opposite of that on both sides, so times 5. So I have 303 plus x equals 400, and then I'll subtract 303 on both sides. I know the handwriting's not great. So 400 minus 303 is going to be 97. So x equals 97. Okay, so to translate this, we know that he's going to need a 97. A 97 on the final. Perfect. So that's the answer there. Okay. So I'm gonna, go ahead and close this again. Take a minute to take some notes, and then for the last 5 minutes, we're just gonna do kind of like a check-in. So 1 minute on the clock. Take some notes. Make some comments. Ponder. 30 seconds. Oh, did you want to leave? What happened? I can invite him. No. Oh, I see it. I see him. There we go. Sorry, but thanks, Militia. Thanks for that heads up, because I appreciate that. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop the screen share now. I'm gonna, everybody. Oh, it's okay. I'll go ahead and unmute everyone. So I'm just gonna ask you a question, and then feel free to respond as you want. Okay. So yeah, so my question to you, so you can go off mute if you would like, is how was the word problems? Did coming to class help you understand them a little bit? How are you feeling right now as far as the word problems go? Well, yeah. Oh, give me 1 second. Okay, it won't let us off mute. Hey. What are you thinking, Maury? How did this go?
Went good, man. Took some notes. And it.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
I'm glad you had the chance to take some notes. And again, so after this class, if you want to take a picture of what you wrote and send it to me, that can be your credit. So highly recommend doing that. You can also submit it on Google Classroom. You can make a copy and submit it that way. So hopefully this gets you some points. And thank you guys for working on Delta Math. I appreciate that. Keep working. Again, there's gonna be no new Delta Math assignments, so just use this time to work on anything that you haven't done yet. There's a lot of time. I'm available if you want to have a small group, like Delta Math session or something like that.
Wait, sessions go to our grades?
Who's playing that song?
What?
Bro, who's just playing that song?
All right. I'm gonna stop the screen share. Give me one
That's bad music.
second.
I know you ain't talking to me. Man.
So
Bad music.
that's about all I had for the rest of the day. Is there any questions you guys had?
Nah, man.
All right.
Wait, you hear what I said?
What's that, Militia?
You hear what I said?
I
No.
did not hear what you said.
Like, do
Speak.
these go to our grade, these Zoom calls? Doing the work and stuff?
All right, I'm gonna one more time.
I said, do these go to our grade?
Yes. So if you give me the notes that you took today, that's gonna go in Power School right away. And I'll also the class. So you coming to class, you're gonna get participation.
I can email a picture of it, right?
Yes. Yep. Take a picture and then email it to me. That's the best way to do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
So that's about it. Thank you guys for coming. Without further ado, ready to go.
All right, man.
All right, guys. Have a great rest of the day. Good luck with all the work.
Deuce.
Bye. All
Brr,
right.